within 60 seconds. I didn't have the description option in the prior text or prior YouTube short thing, so I'm gonna do it this way instead of going through the application. I'm trying to see, like, nobody, and I don't blame them, you know, they would be uncomfortable. Even if they're not worried about getting hay seeds or stuff or poking their radiator of their vehicle or their grill, car, or pickup. I know where the roads are. I mean, even if it was a jacked up four-wheel drive or whatever, not four-wheel drive or not, but had plenty of ground clearance, I know my way if no big storm limbs have fell. So I'm trying to keep some stuff mowed where people will be comfortable taking me, because I experienced this last winter. You know, sometimes people are nervous driving through places, you know, if they've never driven there before. And well, anyway, 16th day of May, year 2022, I customarily do a little bit of this and put up fence posts to mark areas not to go or cut for like hay cultivators. These pine trees were set out in this, most of them were set out in the snow early 2008, before the end of the winter of early 2008. I remember, I can even visualize some of it. I asked somebody who taught me how to do it, I'm like, is it okay in the snow to do it in the snow? They're like, yeah, it is. As long as you don't do it down to freezing or below freezing. That was the two key things on setting out pine trees. You had to do it within a temperature range. I'm gonna cough because I'm breathing in stuff, excuse me. You can't do it too cold, or the little tree saplings freeze and die. You can't do it too warm out in a sunny day. I think you want it to be like below 60 degrees. It just depends. You could probably get away with it around 60 degrees if you had your trees in a shady area in the box before you put them in the ground. But they would get too warm. They leave their dormant state, try to grow and die. And then one last thing, I'll just tell it. I guess it's free knowledge. A lot of this is meant if it successfully uploads to YouTube, which can be put on a Facebook timeline, the link of such, for educational purposes. And I've been spouting out a lot of educational stuff for years, and I don't make any money off of it. It technically costs me money. But you don't want a tree to, if you have the proper dibble bar to make the hole, I was taught after you put the hole in the ground to plant the root of the pine tree sapling, you want to pull up just a couple of inches to prevent the root of the pine tree sapling from getting what's called J-rooted, meaning the roots are curved. The J part, the roots are starting to face above the ground towards the sky, and then the roots can try to grow upward above the ground and then get frozen and die by some other means. That limb just simply needs to be cut off. The way it's hanging out, it looks odd anyway. But I'm really glad that I planted these. My house is up there on that hill, because for me, with what's going on commercially that way, for me to be in my backyard, it provides various things. Noise reduction, visual eyesight, blinking lights, that I don't necessarily want to see that way. I'd rather see some evergreens than hear and see blinking lights for semi-tractor trailers to back into. I'm just saying it. I'm not saying it critically. I'm not saying it mean. It's just objectively, each to their own. One man told me years ago when we was going through here, he's like, you used up a lot of good hay ground when you planted these pine trees. And actually, hay did grow good through here. It did. And not been fertilized in many, many years. Anyway, I guess back to that. Finished this little patch I did a few days ago. Just trying to open it up, because there's three ways to go. I mean, there's a path that they all pretty much lead to the same place, but some are longer than others, some are safer than the others. But if it's a light snow or even non-winter season, heavy rain in the second week of June, that's a steep hill, hard to get up in whatever vehicle. That's why grandfather taught me at a young age this easement, or this. I'm the one that opened up that easement. Years ago, I took down the barbed wire fence. And I'm going to end on this note, if I may. In my lifetime, up until somewhere well past the age of 20, like these growth of trees right through here, they didn't exist. They didn't exist because there was always cows on the property in certain areas that weren't for just cattle grazing or hay. They just kept maintained, mowed, or more so like bush hogged. A bush hog was used as a mower. Anyway.